My name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And finally, I'm getting around to the review of, I thought it was Volume 3. It's actually Volume 4 of Space 1999. Dragon's Domain, Big Finishes, Space 1999, Dragon's Domain. Gerry Anderson's Big Finishes, Space 1999, Dragon's Domain. And it's Volume 4, but it's the 5th release. That always annoys me. You can very much tell they worked hard to try and reverse the let's call it consumer resistance from the last box set, Earthbound, which was an agonizingly painful, very, very transparent Brexit analogy from the point of view of somebody who thinks Brexit was the worst thing ever, right? And I understand many of you watching that may also believe that, but about half of you watching it don't think that either. And I mean, how many people think Brexit actually happened? You know, I don't know. Anyway, but like, we all know what Nick Briggs thinks about Brexit, right? And why he needed to broadcast that in this painful analogy in Volume 3, where basically Commissioner Sims, so I like they set him up as a sort of villain, as a thorn in the side, which they continued this box set, which I think is good. But he wants to get the moon base to vote to go find a way back home. And it's impossible, damn it can't be done. Exactly like Brexit. Oh, you can't do Brexit, it can't be done. Well, not when everybody's saying no. And because of his push to do it, it nearly destroys Moonbase Alpha, but he survives to this box set, which I think was good. But you know, it's equally obnoxious if they did a box set with the same thing, where they had a vote and Commander Koenig just refused to listen and try or do anything, and then they missed a huge opportunity to get home because they were so pig-headed and stupid, right? You could have done it from both ways. Or how about not? How about not inserting your divisive political opinions into this box set? So I think they heard that, right? I think they heard that because they worked very hard to reverse that in this box set. Although, I'm not sure. I mean, it's... You know, look, generally speaking, I'm finding the quality of Big Finish just fading and fading and fading. I mean, I got 2 box sets I haven't listened to. It's taken me forever to listen to this one. They're just not that engaging anymore, right? I think they're really floundering from their hiring policy from a few years ago, where they said, "Oh, we can only hire women or not white men," okay? Which I'm all for. Like, give an opportunity, right? But let it ride on the quality, not on the identity, which I think was a huge mistake they made. And I think we're still feeling the effects of that today. Like the Doctor Who box sets are just so generic. It's painful, right? So this is better than that, right? This is definitely better than that. This is certainly better than the last one. Again, I like their version of Space 1999, but I don't know how much more legs it got in it. Like, I got to Star Cops, right? I didn't like the first 2 box sets or whatever it was, the Mother Earth box set. I was like, yeah, and I gave it a try for Mars because that sounded kind of interesting, and that really worked. That felt like Star Cops, and so I got both of those ones. And then I got the first box set, the next one, and I just reached a point where I'm going, do I care if I don't hear any more Star Cops in my life? Right? Is it going to impact my life in any way? And I went, no, so I didn't get the next one, right? And I'm not there yet with Space 1999, but I'm getting there, right? Which is kind of sad, right? It's kind of sad. Listen, I wish Big Finish well. I hope it does well. This review is a recommend, by the way. I'm trashing them, but it is a recommend, but only just, right? Which is somewhat sad because they clearly worked very hard to turn things around. And they nearly did it, right? They nearly, so kudos to that. So it is a recommend, right? It is a recommend, but you decide, right? you the listener decide. Fine. Can I ask you to like, share, and subscribe? That would be fantastic. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Rumble. You can find me on YouTube. Rumble is the best platform for me, right? They really look after me. So if you can subscribe to me there, that'll be fan-dabby. Double doses. So this review comes from the end of a live stream I did last night. I do live streams often. Come on a live stream and hang out. We take the piss. We have fun. That's the basic idea, right? We take the piss and have fun. I like taking the piss and having fun. First, join us on a live stream. Like, share, subscribe. Now, let me hand over to me from last night. So, Dragon's Domain. I have to rewatch the episode. But I generally speaking, I like the format they do with this, right? I like the format that they do with the same as they did with The Prisoner. They did one, reimagined episode and 2 new episodes. And I think that generally works. I think the casting is good. I think Maria Teresa Creasy is a little bit more reined in on this one. But generally speaking, I think this is a strong reimagining of Space 1999. Last box set was an excruciating Brexit analogy, right? I want to say, Nick Briggs, mate, do you think we don't know what you think of Brexit, right? Ooh. Fine. So let's go over the stories in this one. As people on Moonbase Hour continue their odyssey through the space on their wandering moon, the long-term influences of the recent alien encounters start to impact on their course. But first, an infinity of possibility opened up with them with terrifying consequences. So I like this first story. It's a Mark Platt story. And look, Mark Platt and Nick Briggs, they're both solid writers, right? I like this story as well. There's a deluge on the moon that will change everything forever. The Alphans must adapt. Relationships will change. Then above them, a portent of doom arrives. So they set Simmons up as being like this total arsehole at the as total arsehole at the in box set. They've already been setting with arsehole, but he was the one, the Boris Johnson. He was the one pushing for Brexit, even though it was impossible, right? And I like they kept him around. They didn't get rid of him. And I like that he's still an arsehole and he still has a lot of power, right? I like that little wrinkling. Avoiding the political analogies of the current day, I think is quite good, right? I do think it's quite good. So it starts off, it's very Space 1990. They flying into this weird cloud coming to the moon, and who was it? The Australian bloke gets lost, right? And then this weird deluge hits the moon, and they got water and they have air, right? So then after the titles, it goes forward about a few years, and they got colonists living outside the moon. Simmons is in control. You have Koenig has been exiled, right, after Simmons took control in the new, they're calling it Planet Alpha now. And essentially, Simmons is a politician full of crap. If only they weren't heavily saying right-wing politicians are like this, not left-wing. They're all full of shit, right? They're all full of absolute shit. So then we had a bit of a nice mystery ensues as things are not what they seem. And I said, for me, this was an enjoyable episode. I think that worked very well. The Godhead interrogated by Nicholas Brigg. Dasha Kano has been working on translating the script from Xantar's artifacts. So one of the things I didn't like is that you have to remember what happened in our box sets, and I don't. She's beginning to make progress when 100 objects are detected advancing towards the moon. Dasha's skills are tested to the limit by the force of ancient civilization. Oh, right. So, essentially, this is kind of like Darmok meets Space 1999, right? You got they don't understand the language of aliens, and I think it's a Nick Briggs script, right? And Nick Briggs, I think, normally comes up with interesting scripts that way. So for me, again, this was less memorable than the first one, but I liked it. Dealt with language, right? And I think it was clever. I did like the interplay with people on Alpha, how people have been there for a longer time now, and things are getting falling into new patterns, right? So the third one is Dragon's Domain, which Dr. Eleanor also relates a tale of hope and terror and tragedy. So in the TV episode, it was about this other guy and it was all Dr. Russell narrating it. So they kept that, which I think was a good idea. The Alphas discover a potential means to enact their will of the referendum to return to Earth, but the Ultra mission will be a journey into unimaginable horror. Yeah. What this does well, right? What this does well was it takes an episode that I think most people, Alan Carter, thank you, got on it. It takes an episode that probably people know quite well. And they take the central ideas from it and reimagine it. And again, for me, this is a recommend. I mean, how much is this? 21.66. I would say you're on the border, right? It's what? 2 Doctor Who magazines it's worth. Just under, right? Yeah. Well, if you like Space 1999, right? This one's it could well be for you. Let's see. Let's listen to the trailer. The trailers are normally very good as well. I don't think we've listened to this trailer before. Yeah, 1 second. I'm going to get the link. Doink. Yeah, these trailers really are good. I mean, they are some of the best things they do. Download. Here it comes. Share screen.
Victor, you got this on your scanners.
I've got it, John, but I'm not making any sense of it so far.
It looks like... I'm not sure, but...
Like a skull. A skull in the sky. We're picking up high energy...
Yeah, that was the only thing that was kind of stupid, the explanation of the skull in the sky.
Release from all of them.
Are they drilling? What?
Our heading is shifting, Commander.
My God, they're propelling us in a different direction.
Everyone else thinks I
think that's from the second song.
imagined what happened to me. But I sense you kind of believe that something actually happened out there.
Because of a word I translated on that map, identifying the line you crossed on your test flight in Ultra.
What's the word?
As near as I can translate it, dragon.
I mean, look. How far away before AI can put people into this and we could just watch it, as it is? I just realized, what Dragon's Domain is? It's the movie Event Horizon, right? It's totally that. Okay, that's a shit trailer. We needed some Space 99 music. Like, what the hell? That's just a shit trailer, mate. I'm not impressed, right? Not impressed. My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.